Hey guys, what's up? We are back with some more reactions after dark, and we are of course going to be watching. He pushed 2 little lives off the 15th floor to keep his girlfriend, obviously made by Dark Asia with Megan. I think we can only imagine what's going to happen here. Also, we have the first thing she's talking about is stepmother. It says to keep his girlfriend. Is that was this a request of his girlfriend to, you know, do something so horrible? I'm assuming this is an infanticide? Question mark. Assuming you could even say that word on YouTube. Like I don't know what word you can't say on YouTube. Uh, but yeah, obviously last time we left off, we were doing more Chinaverse stuff. Tomorrow I might go back to doing a Rotten Mango video. We'll have to see. I kind of was just like holding off on that since our videos are so long, and I just don't have the internet to do that. But maybe I can squeeze in one of the shorter ones tomorrow. One in particular. But yeah, we can just go ahead and get straight into this.
The term stepmother carries heavy baggage. For centuries, stories and folklore have shaped her into a symbol of jealousy, cruelty, and resentment, the outsider who disrupts a family from within. But in reality, stepmothers are often just people trying to build trust in difficult, complex situations. Many are kind, many are loving. The stereotype rarely holds. And yet, there are cases so disturbing that they seem to bring those old myths to life, not as fantasy, but as something far more tragic and real. This is a story of a woman who hadn't even married into the family yet, and a father who once promised to protect his children. Together, they made a decision so cold, it left an entire nation in disbelief.
Yes, kind of what I was assuming, that the mother asked him to do this and he went through it. He picked her over his own kids, question mark.
This is the case of Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen.
Because it's not even like they're her kids. So there's no blood relation to choose her over them, and yet he did, I'm guessing. And again, I can only assume that they did not make it, obviously.
It happened on November 2nd, 2020, in Chongqing, one of China's biggest cities.
Wasn't that long ago. I wasn't expecting it to be so, new, question mark. Also, what are with these buildings over here? Like these. Like, it's hard to tell if, like, this is one solid piece or not. Is it construction? Or what? Because, like, these buildings look so weird that I guess it must be construction, right? Because you have the cranes at top. And all the, like, all of this, I'm guessing, is just, the scaffolding stuff.
People were going about their business, kids playing downstairs, windows open to let in the breeze. But then a sound, a scream, followed by a sickening thought. 2 of them. People looked up. Some thought it was construction noise. Others were already running. What they found on the pavement stopped them cold. 2 children, a little girl and her baby brother, lying in a pool of blood, their bodies twisted and broken. Some couldn't even look. Others stood frozen, hands over their mouths, unable to process what they'd just seen. Moments later, a man came running out of the building. He was barefoot, hair disheveled. He fell to his knees and let out a howl so raw it silenced the crowd. He clutched his chest, gasping for air, eyes locked on the bodies. "My kids, my babies," he cried. To those nearby, it looked like a father in shock.
Is he faking it? Question mark, because you're the one who did it. How are you freaking out now? Now you're regretting it? I don't know if he's actually regretting it or if he's just putting on a show to make it seem like an accident.
Man completely crushed by what had just happened. At first glance, it sounded like a tragic accident. He kept saying, "I'm sorry," over and over again, apologizing maybe to his children, maybe to himself, maybe for not closing the window. He couldn't even look the officers in the eye. Some of them assumed he was just overwhelmed with grief. But a few of the investigators noticed something else. When he looked down, it didn't quite feel like sadness. It felt like guilt.
Okay, so is guilty, or he shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Like he was trying to hide something. As the questioning continued, his story started to unravel. Details were missing, timelines didn't match up. His emotions seemed off.
Oh yeah, obviously this is her latest video again. Came out the other day, though it didn't light up with the the days that I would typically post Megan stuff, but this is her latest video.
And eventually, police stopped treating this like an accident and started looking at it as something much worse. Because the truth was, those kids didn't fall, they were thrown. And when officers dug deeper, they uncovered something chilling, a clear motive, and a woman at the center of it who had made it clear the children couldn't be part of her future. So, what exactly happened in the days leading up to the murder?
It's like, yeah, how do you get to that point? How do you get to the point of committing infanticide because of a woman, right?
The father's name was Zhang Bo. He came from poverty, the kind of poverty that shapes your entire childhood. His family couldn't afford stable housing, let alone anything beyond basics. Education was a luxury. Zhang never made it past elementary school. And with no qualifications, finding a decent job wasn't easy. Still, he worked. From a young age, he took whatever jobs he could, trying to support his parents. Years of sweat and struggle eventually paid off. By the time he reached adulthood, Zhang managed to land a more stable job. It wasn't glamorous, but to him, it meant progress. He was finally able to contribute something more than just scraps. Chen Meilin, on the other hand, came from a different world. She grew up in a loving, middle-class family who valued education.
Is this his original wife? You know, the woman of his kids?
Her parents made sure
the mother of his kids.
She had every opportunity they could afford. They sent her to a good school and later to university. After graduating, she landed a solid job with a better salary than most her age. She was bright, capable, and had a warm, friendly presence. People liked her, and they trusted her. When Meilin met Zhang Bo, it wasn't about money or background. She saw something else in him, his perseverance, the way he never gave up despite the odds. She believed he was a good man, someone she could build a life with, so she did. Zhang's family welcomed Meilin easily. She was polite, educated, always smiling, the kind of woman anyone would be proud to introduce to their parents. But when it came time to ask for Meilin's parents' blessing, things didn't go as smoothly. Her family didn't approve. They felt Zhang's background didn't match theirs. They worried he wouldn't be able to give their daughter the life she deserved. But Meilin didn't care. She was in love. And
didn't she make a lot of money? I feel like at this point, she doesn't really need that, right? She just needs someone that she wants.
In the end, the couple got married without her parents' blessing. Not long after, they had 2 children, a daughter named Zhang Luxue, they called her Xue Xue, and a son, Zhang Yanglui, or Yang Yang. To outsiders, they looked like a happy family, a beautiful wife, a hardworking husband, 2 young children full of life. But beneath the surface, things were already starting to change. Zhang Bo wasn't satisfied. He started spending more time online, scrolling through social media, chatting with strangers, drifting away from his wife.
Why? Like, I just out of nowhere? You know, you have, technically, probably still have a stable job. You have a wife, you have kids, and you're like, oh, let me just doom scroll on Twitter all day instead.
It was around April 2019 that he met someone new. Her name was Ye Chengchen. Ye was younger, born in 1994, and came from a
94, geez.
wealthy family. Her parents ran a successful food company, and Ye handled their finances. She was attractive, independent, and still single. Zhang was drawn to her instantly. When she asked about his status, he lied. He said he wasn't married, that he had no kids. They started seeing each other. Zhang would sneak out of the house, telling Meilin he was going for a walk or running errands. Anything to keep his double life hidden. For a while, it worked. But eventually, Ye found out.
Like, yeah, of course she is, right? Like, why? Why are you just, like, all of a sudden being the bad guy?
She discovered the truth, the marriage, the kids, but surprisingly, she didn't walk away. She
Oh, the mistress found out about everything.
stayed, and Zhang, instead of trying to fix his broken home, leaned into the lie. He promised Ye he would leave his wife. He told her over and over again that she was the one he truly wanted, that he would do anything to be with her. And then he followed through. In early 2020, Zhang Bo filed for divorce.
I think this is like not a common story, but like a story you've probably heard before, right? Just married husband, possibly has kids. Another woman shows up, and he says he's going to leave his wife for her, might even do it.
Chen Meilin was blindsided.
If we're going to say like both of them are bad, then I feel like it's okay to just call her a home wrecker, because she, like, once she found out he had a wife, she didn't leave. She stuck around and continued to try and get him, especially with him saying, oh, he'll leave her for her. So I think he's a bad guy. He's a murderer. He committed infanticide, and she's a homewrecker. Also, he's a cheater.
She had no idea what had happened to the man she married. Why was he suddenly ending their marriage? What had changed? She begged him to talk to her, to explain, but Zhang wouldn't tell her the truth. When she finally learned about the affair, she didn't give up. She pleaded with him to stay. She promised to be better. She told him they could work it out for the sake of their children. She even got down on her knees and begged him not to leave. But Zhang Bo didn't listen. By February 2020, the divorce was finalized. They agreed to split custody. Chen took Xuexue, their daughter, and moved back in with her parents in the urban part of Chongqing.
I don't know, how did this woman sink her venom into this guy so hard?
Zhang kept custody of their son, Yang Yang, who was just over a year old. And immediately, Zhang proposed to Ye. But instead of celebrating, Ye got angry. She didn't want to marry a man with baggage, especially not with a toddler in tow.
What was the point of ruining this marriage then?
She made it clear that she didn't want to raise another woman's child. She didn't even want the child in the picture at all. She hated both children. The reason Ye Chengchen hated them was simple. At least in her eyes, they were in the way. A burden. She saw them as pieces of Zhang's past that kept showing up uninvited in their present. And instead of suggesting that Zhang hand over custody to the children's mother, who would have gladly raised them, Ye said something else.
Like, really? You're really just gonna go there? And how is he gonna get away with that? Like, he's not gonna get away with that, so, like, what is wrong with her?
Let's just kill the two.
Was it a joke? Like a dark joke? Or is she really just saying, let's get rid of these children? So it just doesn't make sense. That she's just so easily able to be like, yeah, let's get rid of the kids. Like, she's younger than him, but, like, only by so much. I feel like what is going on in her head? Is she just gonna, like, disappear once he gets caught and sentenced to jail? Is she just gonna disappear off the face of the earth and it's gonna turn out like she was, like, some sort of, like, I don't know, actual demon and just went poof the second he did the deed?
It sounds unbelievable, but those words didn't come out of nowhere. Throughout their relationship, Ye had already shown signs of instability. She wasn't someone who acted sweet or soft toward Zhang Bo. If anything, their relationship had already crossed several dangerous lines. There were reports that she once held a knife to Zhang and even injured him. She would tell him to cut himself, or else she'd harm herself and walk away.
Is this the whole thing of, like, don't date crazy people, but you quote unquote men find themselves happier with crazy women, end quote, you know, that those jokes that go around? Is this why he left his wife?
He had bruises and cuts to show for it. She once threw an ashtray at his head. Another time, she threatened to kill herself if Zhang didn't prove his loyalty. Despite all this,
Very childish behavior. That kind of move, I'm going to do X to myself if you don't do X. Or if you don't really love me, I'm going to do X, something like that. That's very teenage behavior.
Zhang stayed. He chose her again and again, over his family, over his wife, over his kids. And as soon as the divorce was finalized, Ye didn't hold back anymore. She became more direct. She told Zhang to get rid of his children. Again and again, she made it clear she didn't want them in her life. At first, Zhang hesitated. He told Ye that his son Yang Yang was already weak and sickly.
I don't know why is she even with this guy? Is it just to have the power? Like, if once he did this, was she even going to stick around, or was she going to leave? Like, she must have known that there's no coming back after that. I feel like she just wanted him to do it, and then she was going to leave afterwards. To say, like, she made somebody commit infanticide. Because this is just, like, too dumb. I know she's crazy, question mark, but I'm not going to say she's dumb, right? She went to college and has, like, a degree and a nice job, doesn't she? Like, so she's not dumb. I guess those things aren't mutually exclusive, right? You can graduate college and still be dumb in different ways, so I guess maybe she is, but still, it's... what?
That maybe he would die soon anyway, without them needing to do anything. It was a cowardly deflection, but it showed one thing. He wasn't completely on board. Not yet. Then came June 2020. Ye threatened to end their relationship. And that is when something in Zhang shifted. Whether out of desperation, obsession, or emotional collapse, he made a decision, one that crossed every line. He started to believe the same thing Ye kept repeating, that the children's lives were worthless, that if they were gone, he and Ye could finally be free, finally be happy. Ye told him, if you really love me, prove it. And in Zhang's twist,
Oh, that was the. Whoops, that was what I was talking about earlier. Uh, the loving ultimatums. Like, if you love me, you will do X. Like, or do X, or else I will do X to myself. So it's just the entire swath of stuff. Now we got the if you really love me, you will blink, right? Like, how old is this woman? I mean, she graduated college and all that, right? But she sounds like a teenager. She's do all this teenager manipulation nonsense.
twisted logic, killing his own children became the proof.
And he's like falling for it too, despite being older than her. He's allowing this teenage level manipulation to work on him.
At first, the plan focused on Yang Yang, the son who was already living with Zhang full time. But then it expanded. According to WeChat records, between May 28th and November 2nd, 2020, Zhang and Ye talked many times about killing Xue Xue as well. Ye was afraid that the girl might be a reason Zhang could reconnect with his ex-wife. That possibility alone was enough for Ye to want her gone. Chen Meilin visited Zhang's apartment. She asked him if he could watch Xue Xue for a few hours while she stepped out. It wasn't unusual. She had trusted him with the kids before. But this time, Ye saw an opportunity, and she pushed hard. She called Zhang again and again, pressuring him to go through with it. She wanted him to kill the little girl while she was still in his care. But Zhang didn't do it. Chen returned sooner than he expected, and when she got back, she stayed for a while to play with Yang Yang, making it impossible for him to act. For that moment, the plan was put on hold. Then came November 1st. Zhang called Chen and asked if he could see his daughter again. He said he missed her, that he wanted to spend some time with her.
When did he do this? Because she just said there was chats up to like November 2nd of them talking about doing this. So is it the 2nd, or did they do it on the 3rd? Some point after the 2nd?
For Chen Meilin, it felt like a breakthrough. After all the distance, after all the silence, maybe Zhang was finally starting to reconnect with his daughter. Maybe he still cared. She agreed without hesitation. She brought Xue Xue over and dropped her off, trusting that her child would be safe with her own father. Then she left to meet her friends for dinner. But once again, Zhang didn't follow through because his mother was at home. He couldn't do anything without being seen, so instead of staying with the kids, he left them with his mother and went to Ye's apartment to spend the night. The plan would have to wait just a little longer, but not for long. At 10 a.m. on November 2nd, 2020, Zhang Bo returned home.
Yeah, so that's what I was like assuming, that it didn't happen on the 1st.
He already knew what he was planning to do. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep, he waited. By 3:30 that afternoon, his mother had stepped out. That was the moment he'd been waiting for. Now it was just him and his 2 children inside the apartment. In the second bedroom, 2-year-old Xue Xue and 1-year-old Yang Yang were playing together. They climbed onto the bay windowsill, laughing as toddlers do, completely unaware that their father was standing behind them, watching. Zhang stood there, frozen. He looked at them closely, maybe for the last time as a father. There was a moment of hesitation, but in his mind, he told himself this was the only way forward.
Is that like testimony from him, like his point of view of what he was thinking in the moment?
He thought, if I do this, I'll be free. Ye will love me. We will have a future together.
How did you let this crazy woman infect you so much? Like, you already had a wife and kids. Like, how did she sink her teeth in you so far to cause you to do this? Like, what is wrong with him? Like, what is wrong with you?
Then his phone rang. It was a video call from Ye Chengchen. For a split second, Zhang felt hopeful. Maybe she had changed her mind. Maybe this didn't have to happen. But when he answered, what he saw was Ye holding a knife to her wrist, dragging it slowly across her skin. She wasn't joking. She was serious, and she was bleeding. Panic took over. Zhang turned to his children. He walked toward them.
I feel like, first of all, none of this should have even happened. He shouldn't even been messing around with this woman. I don't know what happened to him to make him snap and want to find somebody else, but he should have been like, you know what, screw it, and just call like an ambulance or a mental health check. Apparently we could just do that in a place that's not America, so just call the psych ward on her and just be like, okay, I'm keeping these kids. It's like word's on their way, and the ambulance in case you went through with it. I'm done, right? But of course, we don't know what the heck is wrong with this guy.
He knelt down and pulled them into his arms. The kids giggled, thinking their father was just playing or showing them love. It was the kind of moment any parent would cherish. But then, without warning, he picked them up. He walked to the open window and he let them go. 2-year-old Xue Xue died instantly. Her baby brother Yang Yang still had a faint pulse when people found him, but his injuries were too severe, so he died shortly after. From the 15th floor of Unit 4, Jianjiang Mansion in
Where
Chongqing's Nan'an District,
is the 15th floor? What are we counting as a 15th floor? Is this the first? We can't even see the 15th floor from this angle.
2 children had been murdered by the person they trusted the most. Zhang looked down from the window and saw the blood on the grass.
What is the mom gonna do? Like, I'd be surprised if the mom's still alive after what just happened. Like, her husband divorces her for no reason because of another woman, but she still wants to be with him. Then, sometime later, finds out that that woman coerce, we'll use the word coerce because I think force is a strong word because it's his own fault for letting this happen to himself, coerced him into committing infanticide, and then, like what do you do, right? I feel like she might just like self-exit after that, especially with how young they were. Precious, you could use that word. They were definitely cute. So I was like, oof, like really? Like again, I wouldn't be surprised if she self-exits from this.
Then he slipped on the mask he had been preparing. He ran downstairs, screaming. He threw himself to the ground. He cried loudly and slapped his own legs, hitting his head against a wall. He wailed like a father in absolute shock. To anyone watching, it looked like grief, the kind that comes from losing everything. Police arrived minutes later. They found Zhang hunched over the bodies, still putting on the performance. At the scene, it looked like a tragic accident, the kind no parent ever recovers from. They took Zhang in for questioning. Even inside the station, he kept crying, his face red, eyes swollen. When he finally calmed down, officers began asking questions.
I feel like maybe the crying is a bit real, because how could you like fake cry for what, like an hour straight, or however long it's gonna end up being? Again, just like, is he gonna get like death? I feel like you committed like double infanticide. I feel like that should be enough for, like, I feel like singular infanticide should be like a death or life already, right? So I feel like double, yeah, like that's guaranteed.
Zhang claimed he had been asleep. He said the children must have climbed onto the bay window without him knowing, that they must have slipped and fallen.
Except if you were asleep, how did you know this happened so quickly?
He said he only realized something was wrong when he heard people screaming outside. He looked out the window, saw the red on the grass, and ran down.
Sure.
It was a plausible story, a terrible tragedy, and at first investigators didn't doubt him. The news spread quickly. A father's worst nightmare, 2 toddlers lost in an instant. Neighbors grieved. Social media lit up with outrage, sympathy, and fear. And eventually, word reached Chen Mei Lin. She was out with friends when she got the call. And the moment she heard the words, she froze. Her body collapsed. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. She couldn't make sense of what she was hearing. 2 children, gone. She had left them with her father. She had trusted him. How could this have happened? Even then, she still believed in Zhang's story. She blamed herself. She thought maybe she hadn't protected them enough. Maybe she shouldn't have gone out that day. Maybe if she'd done something, anything differently, her children would still be alive. In her mind, it was an accident, a mistake. She had no reason to think otherwise.
I think she just keeps giving him like the benefit of the doubt, like constantly. Again, like she didn't want him to leave her. Once she found out he was cheating, she's like, I don't care, please come back. She just like giving too much to him, right? She probably like just genuinely loves him, right? Because it is just it was kind of like that from the beginning. She wasn't after him because of his money, because he didn't have any money. She wanted him. So I think she just loves him too much, and I guess he just loves her too little, and he just apparently just can't help but like crazies.
But the officers back at the station, they were starting to wonder. Something about Zhang's behavior didn't sit right. He avoided eye contact. He looked down the entire time. Not in grief, not in avoidance. He was sweating, stumbling over small details. The story stayed the same, but something about it felt rehearsed. And that was when they decided to dig deeper. Meanwhile, outside the walls of the station, the story was already spreading online. Witnesses had captured the footage on the day of the incident, especially that now famous video of Zhang sitting on the pavement, crying, slapping his legs, screaming for his children. Someone posted the video with context, explaining what had happened and reminding parents to be more careful with open windows and young kids. The video went viral. Some people responded with compassion. They saw Zhang as a grieving father who had just experienced the worst thing imaginable.
But
Others were more critical. They blamed both parents for being careless, for letting toddlers play near an open window unsupervised.
sure.
But then something shifted. A few sharp-eyed users online began pointing out details that didn't make sense, specifically the windows in Zhang's apartment. According to residents of the building, all the bay windows were fitted with guardrails, rails high enough that a 1 or 2-year-old child couldn't possibly climb over them on their own.
Yeah, we couldn't really see that from, I feel like, the pictures that we had, because we didn't even see the 15th floor, but it would make sense that, there'd be protection, child protection stuff on these windows, or even just like bars. But I guess, why would you need like anti-theft bars on windows that are way up in the sky? But still, some sort of safety in place makes sense. So
That detail triggered something in the investigation.
how did the cops not understand that from the get-go, though? Like, really? You're just going to take them at face value? Even though you should be able just to visually see that the windows are incapable of children crawling out of them themselves?
If what people were saying was true, then Zhang's story that the children accidentally fell while he was asleep started to fall apart. Police decided to dig deeper. They seized Zhang's phone and began searching for anything suspicious. But when they looked through his chat history, they found that every message between him and Ye Chengchen had already been deleted. Thousands of conversations gone.
But does WeChat save an internal log of their conversation, question mark?
At first, without direct evidence, they could only suspect him of negligence. Then the digital forensic team stepped in, and what they recovered changed everything. More than 17,000 WeChat messages between Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen were restored. Messages that laid out in detail a plan to kill both children.
Okay, so I don't know if that means WeChat will still hold on to your messages even if you delete them. They still have them backed up in their servers, so like your conversations are never lost. Which I feel like you just believe that for every messaging that you're doing, even just basic text messaging. So just because you deleted something off of your phone or off of social media, you should not assume that it is just gone forever. It is most likely not. It is the exact opposite of that. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Not just kill them, but cover it up, pretend, put on a performance, make the world believe it was a tragic accident. On November 10th, 2020, police arrested both Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen.
Okay, well, at least they got her too, but I'm assuming she's not going to get much jail time. Just, she's an accomplice? Could you argue she's an accomplice just because she coerced him into doing it? Like, is there a thing like manslaughter via proxy? Is that what it would be called? I just try to think of the term manslaughter by proxy.
When the news broke, the public was stunned. People remember that video, Zhang crying beside his children's bodies.
Or would it be like murder by proxy? So I'm only using manslaughter because she didn't do it herself, but maybe it would just still be considered murder by proxy.
But now the truth was out. He wasn't the devastated father. He was the killer. The day after their arrest, on November 11th, police announced a formal investigation, no longer treating it as an accident, but as a homicide case.
Now, what is the wife going to do? The ex-wife? Like, again, if the story ends with her deleting, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't, hold it against her. It just makes sense.
Word of the truth reached Chen Mei
Well, here we go.
Lin. She was devastated all over again. For days, she couldn't speak, couldn't eat, couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her ex-husband, the man she once loved, and his girlfriend had killed their children. But instead of staying silent, she chose to fight. She recorded a video and posted it online, asking people to help her seek justice for her son and daughter.
Okay.
And people responded. Internet users rallied behind her. They began digging into Ye Chengchen's background.
Wait. What is that going to do? Is she like... I don't know where that would even go. Her family's background.
And into her family business. The pressure was immediate. Before the first trial, Ye's parents came to meet with Chen. They offered her 300,000 yuan, about 41,000 US dollars, as compensation.
Okay, well, just to get her to shut up, but they're trying to bribe her, I'm guessing, but that's not going to happen.
Hoping maybe that she would forgive Ye, that maybe her support could lessen the sentence. Chen, of course, refused. They raised the offer, she refused again. Later, Zhang sent her a handwritten letter. He told her he loved their children, that he was sorry, that he hoped she could forgive him. She never responded.
Like, why would she? Like it's over, right? I mean, again, she does seem to be not obsessed with him, but like she really loved him. But this is like the line like you don't cross, right? So I'm assuming that's just all gone now. It's probably turned to hate again because love and hate is two sides of the same coin, right? So that's probably all just transferred into the hate now.
On July 26, 2021, the Fifth Court of Chongqing held a public hearing. Chen Meilin stood in court and withdrew her incidental civil lawsuit. She told the court that what mattered now wasn't money, it was justice. She said that both Zhang and Ye deserved the most severe punishment for what they had done.
Sure. Again, I think he's going to get like double homicide, but Yi is just going to get like murder by proxy, maybe? I don't know. If that's even a thing. I'm just making up words, but I doubt that she would get any big sentences. Like, he will get either life or death, and she will get like, what, 5 years at most, maybe?
During the trial, Zhang and Ye turned on each other.
I mean, that's of course, since she was already abusing him to begin with, so that's just part of her wheelhouse.
Zhang claimed that Ye had manipulated him, that she had threatened to kill herself, that she sent him a photo of her slashed wrist the day of the murders and told him he had to act or she would die. Ye told a different story. She said she never told Zhang to do anything. She said she didn't even know he was going to kill the children.
Don't they have like 8 billion, like 13,000 WeChats of you telling him, kill the kids? Hello? What are you talking about?
According to her, the entire plan was Zhang's idea. She claimed he was the one obsessed with starting over, and he never wanted the children in his life. Back and forth it went.
Again, like, doesn't the text messages literally say the opposite of that? Hello?
Each one trying to appear less guilty than the other. But neither of them could explain away the chat logs, the
Yeah, like, hello, shut up. That's not gonna work.
messages, the long detailed conversations about how and when to carry out the murders, and how to lie afterward. There was no hiding from that. Still, one key piece, the moment she allegedly cut her wrist to manipulate Zhang, had been done over a video call, and without a recording, it was hard for the court to confirm who was telling the truth.
Okay, well, we can't do anything about that, I guess, unless they can somehow get that. Well, it's a video call, right? So, unless WeChat records every video that happens, then even like video calls, then there's not much they can do. I mean, I wouldn't hold it past WeChat doing that, but it would also throw WeChat under the bus for doing something like anti-privacy like that. So there's no way WeChat would just be like, oh yeah, we have the video proof, but can't give it to you, right? It'll ruin our company's image, question mark.
To support his version, Zhang asked the court to examine his body. He pointed to scars, bruises, and cuts, saying they were the result of Ye's abuse. And she had threatened him, controlled him, and pushed him into doing the unthinkable. At that point, he knew he wasn't getting out of this, but if he was going down, he was determined to drag Ye down with him. The court considered everything, both of their confessions, the contradictions in their defenses, the chat transcripts, the phone records, witness statements, and physical evidence. And it all pointed to one thing. They didn't just kill 2 innocent children. They planned it, step by step, then tried to cover it up.
Yeah, I mean, we already know it was all premeditated, right? But I guess the court has to prove that.
In the morning of December 28, 2021, the verdict finally came. The Fifth Court of Chongqing declared both Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen guilty of premeditated murder.
Okay, premeditated murder, sure. 2 counts of that, I would assume. Is this what the Chinese court looks like? You have like a judge, is it the lady in the middle, judge, and then 2 co-judges? Like, who are these 2 on the side? I'm assuming the one in the middle is the judge. They even have like different names associated with them. Like this, well, you can't even see it, but these like three kanji and these three kanji are the exact same. But this one has a different letter or word at the end of it. So yeah, I feel like she's the head judge, and these two are co-judges or just there to help her. I don't know.
They were sentenced to death and
Oh, both. So not even just she didn't even get like. So when she said they both were sentenced or were guilty of, murder or premeditated murder, it wasn't just him. Like she got it too. She didn't get murder by proxy or whatever the heck else you would like want to call that. She is getting screwed too.
permanently stripped of their political rights. But
Political rights. What does it mean? You're going to jail. Like, what political rights are you going to have?
even after being convicted, neither of them showed true remorse. Ye refused to admit she had any knowledge of the murder beforehand. Her lawyer argued that she was only an accomplice, not a key player. But the court didn't agree. They found that Ye and Zhang shared equal responsibility. The idea that Ye had been pressured into it wasn't supported by the evidence, and her defense was rejected. After the verdict, Ye reportedly told her family she was unhappy with her lawyer and requested a new one for her appeal. Zhang and Ye both challenged the ruling, hoping for a reduced sentence. A second trial was held on April 6, 2023. This time, Zhang changed his story completely.
Okay. What is it even going to be?
He withdrew his earlier confession and claimed the whole thing was an accident, that the kids had fallen on their own.
What? How do you just going to go back to what you said from the get-go? I feel like that is just going to get you even in more trouble. Though I guess you can't really get in any more trouble than death, but still.
But the court didn't buy it. On May 11, 2023, the Chongqing High People's Court upheld the original ruling. The evidence was too strong, the planning too clear. The crimes were described as extremely despicable and particularly cruel. The Supreme People's Court agreed, and the death sentence stood.
Okay, this is 2023 when they fully went through this. This is 2 years ago. So are they dead? This video is brand new, by the way, so she might know if they've already been executed or not.
On January 31st, 2024, just over 3 years after the children's deaths, the sentence was carried out. Chinese authorities don't always reveal the exact method of execution. It's often by lethal injection or a firing squad. In this case, the government didn't confirm which was used.
How are you still doing firing squads in modern day? Like, I understand it's to be as brutal as possible. Like, at least be a little bit humane. I know I'm saying like be humane to monsters, but someone has to be humane, right? Because we'll just all become monsters at the end, right? Also, is this like an actual live execution, or is it just a demonstration? I would hope this is just a demonstration and we're not watching two people about to, like the last moments of two people's lives here.
But what was confirmed and what brought some sense of closure to the public was that both Zhang Bo and Ye Chengchen were executed. For many, that was the justice they had been waiting for. But for Chen Meilin, the mother who lost both of her children in the most unthinkable way, the pain never left.
Damn, like, hello? Like, what is it happen to her? Again, we still have a minute and 10 seconds left of this video. Is she about to say, Chen? No, she got her justice. She got them killed. Well, not she got them executed. So is she going to now just give up and self-exit? Because she knows that like they've been brought to justice and now she can just leave because there's nothing left for her here. Her children are gone. The man that she loved turned into a monster. So she's just out. Like, I swear that's what's going to happen.
She later said that she often questions everything, not just that day, but everything that led up to it. She wonders if marrying Zhang was a mistake. She replays the moment she handed Xue over to her father, the last time she saw her alive.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming her parents are evil, like, not evil, but like, kind of screwed up. I wouldn't, like, I could see a world where her parents are telling her, like, oh, you should have listened to us. You should have never married that man. Hopefully that's not happening to her, but it's just a thought that came to mind.
She said she lost half of her soul the day her children were thrown from the 15th floor. She can't sleep, she can't stop imagining what those final moments were like, how scared they must have been, how much they must have suffered. The thoughts loop in her mind over and over, and there is no sentence long enough or punishment severe enough that could ever take that pain away. What drives a parent to kill their own children? It's a question that doesn't have a simple answer because it shouldn't. Our instincts tell us that parents protect, nurture, and sacrifice. But in this case, the exact opposite happened. Jang Bo wasn't just a father, he was someone so deeply consumed by the need to be loved, so desperate for validation that he was willing to erase his own blood to secure the approval of someone else.
Yeah, even though he literally had a wife and 2 kids that would have loved him / do love him. It's like, what? Again, I don't know what was wrong with this guy. Just got obsessed with this woman. Do not know how she enchanted him so much.
What we saw here was blind love, or perhaps more accurately, blind obsession, that blurred every moral line. A man whose sense of right and wrong had been warped by emotional dependence and manipulation. A woman who weaponized that weakness. Together, they created a distorted world where children were seen as obstacles, not lives. And this happens more often than we'd like to admit, not always ending in tragedy, but still leaving deep scars. People so desperate to hold on to love that they'll compromise everything else, even the things that should matter most. The lesson here is not just about justice or crime. It's about boundaries, self-worth, and remembering that love, real love, never asks you to destroy the people you were meant to protect. That is all for today. Thanks for watching.
Alright, that was that video, of course. Again, it just doesn't make sense why this guy just went off the deep end for this lady, like this much. Like, really? I mean, he's dead now, so we can't be like, why? Like, how did you do this? Like, why? Was it that important to do this for her? So yeah, we'll never know, like, how he was manipulated so hard by this woman, especially someone who was abusing him constantly. And he's just like, nope, she's the one. Everything, gotta give her the world. Whatever she wants, she has to have it. I don't care that she's literally stabbing me, beating me up every day. Doesn't matter. She's the one. Though, I guess people are like that, I think, more than you think, I'd say. Like, a lot of people just get into relationships, in this kind of relationship, where they're just being beaten and harmed, abused constantly, and yet they still stick around, no matter what. Obviously, it's usually the other way around, like women with abusive men, but obviously it happens the other way around too, and here it is. Though, of course, he became a monster in the end. Out of it, so yeah, I don't know. But guys, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers or think about becoming a member, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we're going to watch them and subscribers, and if they're now as well, and shout out the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the do. See ya.